All right. It is 7 o'clock. So I'm gonna give everybody a little time to get here. Wish I had like some music or something to play. I do, but it's like I don't want to sit and try to pull my stuff up. So I'll give everyone a little time, just a little bit, so that we can talk. We can chit and chat together. Promise I won't be on here long. I'm sitting by an open window, so it's very possible I may end up shutting it if it gets too loud. But we'll see how it goes. And you're probably hearing me shuffle cards because I think I want to pull a card before I get started. But just gonna give a little time so people know that I am live right now. So, hope everyone had a wonderful day. I'm here in Atlanta and it's been raining like all day long. Really hasn't been a problem because, I ain't really have to go nowhere other than to like take my mama to her doctor's appointment. But yeah, I ain't have to get out. So I'm good. I'm easy like Sunday morning. So I am so good. And I hope that you are too. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So hello, my name is Allison Rozelle. I am the founder and hostess and pathway priestess of the Sacred Pathway to Liberated Black Womanhood podcast, in which you can find on... You can't hear me? Uh-oh. Is it me or is it you? And if you can't hear me, I guess you can't answer that question. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm going to proceed. Hopefully, I can be heard. So, yes, I'm Allison Rozelle from the Sacred Pathway to Liberated Black Womanhood podcast, which you can watch on YouTube. You can listen to on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And I feel like I left something out, but maybe not, because right now I think that's where we are. So, so this is something that I am doing for the podcast, is what I'm calling a postcast. And I can't take credit for that word. Hi Lois, can you hear me okay? I can't take credit for that word. I actually got it from another person's podcast. And so, is what they're calling what they do is a postcast. So can everybody hear me okay? Please let me know that I can be heard. Okay, good, thanks. So I'm just here so I can chit and chat and talk about this week's episode. But before I jump in, She Thinks, can you please give me a number between 1 and 13? 1 and 13. And I'm going to pull a card for us to get us started. And I'm actually using a deck that I have not pulled from in a long time. And that is The Sacred Traveler by Denise Lynn. I love Denise Lynn's decks. But I haven't been playing with her decks as much as I've been playing with the Colette Baron Reed decks. But I do love Denise Lynn. So, all right. So she picked 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right, we got vast vistas. Expand your horizons. Expand your horizons. What I love about this card, the illustration on here, is that Peter Pan looking guy, or what's the guy? Robin Hood looking guy. He's stepping outside of a box. So if you are expanding your horizons, that means you're stepping out of the box. Hi, fabulous Dawn. So if you're stepping outside the box, that is a good thing. So many times we keep ourselves in a box, which keeps us, first of all, very low energy. And it stifles us and keeps us from growing, keeps us from learning, keeps us from developing our skills and showing the world who we are. So, yeah, I love this card. Thank you for pulling this card, because it actually plays nicely into what I'm going to be talking about. So, this week's episode on the podcast, and if you haven't heard it, don't worry. You can still listen to it. It's up. It is on, like I said, Apple, Spotify, Google. It is also on SoundCloud and YouTube. So go and listen to it or watch it on YouTube and tell me what you think. But for now, don't do it right now. Sit here with me and listen. And let's talk. So on that episode, I was talking about transitioning from the starting over at 40 movement to the Sacred Pathway to Liberated Black Womanhood movement. And the reasonings behind that, and how what I was doing was putting myself in a box. And that's how come I was not really able to feel the effects of the work that I was doing, because I was not doing it in the way that I knew I was called to do it. Because I knew that my main niche of women to work with were going to be Black women. Now, it's not to say that I will never work with anyone who is not Black. It's not saying that at all. But my attention needed to go on Black women, because I, as a Black woman, understand a lot of the things that we as Black women, especially here in America, deal with on a day-to-day basis. And I understand a lot of the trauma and stress and things that we endure as Black American women. And it's really not to say that Black women on any other parts of the globe don't go through it, because, yeah, they do. We do. So, this episode was actually a little longer than I wanted it to be, but I mean, I've gotten to also where I don't want to be in a box anymore of being so stuck on time. I feel like when Spirit is speaking through me, when I'm getting a divine message that I need to deliver, I can't sit and put man-made time on that. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to give you an episode that's like 2 hours long. If anything, if it's that long, I'm going to cut it up and make it into like 2 episodes, because I know we all have a little bit of ADD, because I know I do. After a while, you start thinking, did I cut my lights off on my car? Did I buy Duke's mayonnaise, or did I go get Hellman's instead? Yeah, you start thinking all that stuff. And she says, I'm definitely having to recreate the box I thought I was creating. Yes, absolutely. Stepping outside of the box. So, that's why this episode was near and dear to me, because I was able to express, why I decided to make that jump into the Sacred Pathway. And the funny thing is, because my coach, because I tell you guys all the time, coaches have coaches. If you have a coach that does not have a coach, they don't need to be your coach, because that means that they don't believe in the very thing that they're trying to get you to purchase from them. So anyway, anyway, so I realized, and she helped me realize, that my message isn't really changing. It's just that now I'm stepping into it fully. I'm coming out of that box that I was allowing myself to be in. I'm coming to a point where I have to be more intentional in what I'm doing and not leave it to chance. Even though I'm a fly by the seat of my pants gal, because I'm definitely not a planner. I leave that to the beautiful, precious Virgos that walk this earth, because they are usually the ones that are organized, that are planned, that, want stuff like in a certain way and everything else. And my Leo energy is just very different. We just are cut from a different cloth. I'd rather you look at me than for me to get organized. So, I'm just not that girl. I'm not. I'm really, really not. I am to a point, but I'm really, really not. Which is weird, because I'm kind of a perfectionist on some stuff, but that's a whole other couch talk that, yeah. So I was not far from what I had set out to do. It's just that I needed to really hone it in and get out of my own way. Yeah, we get in our own way a lot. A lot. There are so many things that we know that we've been called to do, that we are supposed to be doing, but for whatever reason, which is usually fear, but we can't always say it's fear. It's not, I don't feel like it's always fear. Sometimes it's just a not knowing. You just don't know. You don't know, or you don't realize the strength of what it is, or the weight of that you're supposed to do this thing, and how important it really is, because to you it feels new, and it's like, but do people need another, whatever the thing is, do they really need another, nurse? Do we really need another coach in the world? Do we really need another attorney in the world? Do we need another writer in the world? Do we need another, psychologist in the world? Maybe this other thing that I like would be better, because, it might be a little more secure. And then that way I can work on that and this. And if that don't work out, I still got this, because that just don't seem like it's real promising. So I'm just going to just like, I don't know about that. So it's just not knowing and understanding. So ways that you can remedy that is do some inward work, like go within. And when we say go within, it's not just some flighty thing that we're suggesting that you do, or that I'm suggesting that you do. When you're going within, that's a very intimate thing. We don't tend to have a lot of intimacy even within ourselves. So the true intimate thing is for you to sit and actually get to know who you are, and to spend time with self, higher self, and spirit. That is a sacred, blessed trinity, is self, higher self, and spirit, and God, and creator, whatever entity, name that you give. But that is the trinity, and that is what you need to hone in on, to know that it's time to step out of that box and stop being afraid, and stop, if you don't know, then learn. Go learn about it. Sometimes we are, and some coaches don't agree when I say stuff like this, but I don't care. This is me. Sometimes we are lazy. Yeah. Sometimes it's our own laziness in the fact that it's like, I don't want to learn nothing else. I don't want to do that. Oh my God, why can't it just fall from the sky? Why can't I just say hallelujah and be healed? Why does it have to be so hard? I don't wanna. Can't you make it easier? Oh my God. Yeah. So we whine. That little inner 6-year-old comes out because we're not getting our way. So then we deny ourselves the beauty of the process, which is why I said the blessing is in the journey. We deny ourselves the pleasure that we're seeking by walking on the sacred pathway that leads us to the sacred and divine purpose that is in our lives. We deny ourselves these things because of not knowing. We deny ourselves these things because of the lazy spirit that hits us and we give into. We deny ourselves this because of fear and listening to other people. Aha! That's one of the things that came up in the podcast is I talk about the fear. Oh my God, the fear. Why would you want to just work with black women? Black women don't want to give you no money for no coaching. They don't want to sit and talk to you about spiritual stuff. They went to church. That's all they care about right now. They don't want to do this. They not going to laugh at your jokes, Lois. They not going to eat your cakes, Tamara. They not going to listen to your stuff about Joy, Regina. They not going to see how fabulous you are, Dawn. Even though Dawn is an ally, but still, she is one of my sisters. I love her. But yeah. So hearing all this is the reason why I did not initially start off being the coach for black women, even though I knew that's what I was supposed to do. I knew that's what I was supposed to do. But I was trying to make my programs for everybody. I was like, come on, my coach. She coaches everybody, not just black women. And she's great. People love her. How can I leave this money on the table by sitting and just catering just to black women? And let's be honest, black women, we don't always support each other. We always have that old adage of the white man's water is colder. Come on, don't leave me out here by myself. Y'all know how we do. Bye, Don. Thank you so much. Love you too. But we know how we do. We know how we sit up and will act like we can't purchase a program or work with a black coach, a black healer about our black issues because we have trust issues within our own race. And that has to stop. That has to stop. Who else is going to help you with the very issues that affect you as a black woman than another black woman who has the same shit to deal with that you got to deal with each and every day of my life until they put me in the ground, whether I'm cremated or in a casket. It doesn't matter. So I gave in to the fear that black women don't want to hear from me. And I know where that fear comes from. Can I tell y'all where I know where it really, really came from? Please don't throw your phone. Keep listening, please. Just give me some hearts. Just give me some hearts. I'll tell you guys where that fear comes from, where that thought comes from for me. That is that 9, 10, 11, 12-year-old light-skinned black girl back in the day who was picked on for being light, who was always asked, "Are you mixed?" And then when they see my parents, they question, Are those really your parents? Damn it, don't I look like them? But that's why. And it took me a while to kind of figure that out. Is because of that old colorism thing that we, yeah, haven't quite gotten away from yet in the black community, that keeps us in a box. Yeah, see, I was scared. I'm like, ooh, them black women, they don't want to hear from me. They don't. They don't want to hear from me because I'm not black enough. Yeah, I'm not black enough. They told me that when I was a little girl. I'm not black enough. I got told that when I was a teenager, into a young adulthood. You're not black enough. How do you understand what it means to be black? Because when I go in the store that's owned by people who ain't black, they follow me just like they follow you. So if they think I'm black, why you don't think I'm black? So yeah, I get it. Some of that old trauma and stress that comes up, that's why you need a black woman if you are a black woman. Now, that's not to say that a coach that's not black can't help you. But with some of these deep, dark, traumatic issues that we as black people deal with, who else do you need to talk to than somebody that has been there and done that? So yeah, that fear, it scared me to death. And then another part of that equation, before I close this out, is I started my spiritual journey in 2015. I mean, that doesn't mean that, I haven't been a spiritual person, because, I went to church, I was a Christian, but I felt like I haven't been doing other spiritual practices long enough to be, in other people's eyes, which is really my own fear, but in other people's eyes and mind, I haven't been doing it long enough, so they wouldn't be able to trust that I know what I'm talking about, even though I lived it, and I'm teaching you what I lived. I'm drawing from my experience of what I've lived and what I've been trained to do, because I do have certifications. But that fear, that holding me back. Let me go back and read some of y'all comments here. So remember Live Free, who is also a guest on the podcast. Her episode will be airing in a couple of weeks. Yes, thank you very much. She says, oh yes, moving beyond this box of marketing and standards. Yes. And then she also says, yes, we long to be free in every way. Leos, yes, we do. And then she says, that's me. Get out of my own way. And Georgia Peach 1 says, person to bake cakes. Yeah, I agree. She should have been a pastry chef. She could, she need to get up on that. And then, yes, the lazy part. And George Peach says, it's going to make me throw my phone. And then she says, I do. Who else can identify with my shit? Exactly. So, yeah, like, come on. Y'all feel me? Y'all understand what I'm talking about? It's time for us to get out of that box. Now, here's the part where I'll catch you up on the blessing being in the journey, because I'm telling you, you got to listen to that episode. It's a good one. It's a good one. So with all the experiences that I've had, everything that I've gone through, shit, from childhood to now, has all been a journey on this sacred pathway. That's all given me these experiences that I carry with me that are either good, bad, or damn near frightening. But if I look at it for what it is, I would realize that everything in my life, all things work together for my good. Because if I had not been through the things that I've been through, I don't think I would be doing this right now. I really don't. See, a lot of times we want to leapfrog from this part and we want to skip all the other stuff and get right to our destination. But I don't know about you, but I love a good road trip. And part of the fun of a road trip is the sights you get to see, the things that you get to experience, listening to music, have your Frankie Beverly and Mays playing in the background, or, Earth, Wind, and Fire, or whatever you like, riding down the highway. Have all these different experiences, stopping for different foods, seeing the crazy billboard signs, looking at some nature that might be out there, looking at the different cars that you see on the road, and playing games in the car if you're not, by yourself or whatever. But the journey itself, that's usually what you end up talking about the most, is getting there. Like, the destination usually is good, but the getting there. Like, I went on a cruise in 2018. That was my first cruise ever. And I'm not going to lie to y'all and say that when they give us the green light to go on cruises that I'm not going to go. I'm lying. Yes, I will. Because I want to go back on a cruise so bad. Only way, though, everybody got to have the little thing up their nostril. And it's got to be negative. I don't care. But anyway, being on that cruise was so much fun. We were out to sea, I don't know how many days. And you didn't know it because there was so much to look at, so much to do. And when we finally got to the ports, yes, we enjoyed them. I enjoyed them very much. But the journey of getting to those ports, that was a lot more memorable. A lot more stuff happened on the ship than it did at the ports. So that's why I'm saying the blessing is in the journey. Enjoy before you get to the ports. The ports, that's the cherry on top. You know what I'm saying? But the whole part of it is the journey of getting there. So make sure that you are taking in the blessings. Even though some of the experiences that you've been through, that you're doing right now, they don't always feel good. It doesn't always look good. Sometimes it might not smell good either. But the blessing is in the journey. I promise you it is. I promise you it is. Because the journey is what you write the book on, not the after. Yeah, the book is the journey. That's what people talk about. How many books have you read? Look at all these books I got back here. Most of the books that I have right here that are non-fictional is somebody sitting up there laying out point by point. This is what happened in my life. This happened next. This happened that. My mama did something. My daddy did something. My grandmama did something. My brother did something. And I didn't talk to him for 10 years and all this other stuff. The blessing is in the journey. The blessing is in the journey. Okay, and she says, I'll call you later. Don't know if she's talking to me or if she's talking to Lois. But she says she's got to go bake some peanut butter cookies. And all I can say is, send me some. But yes, the blessing is in the journey, y'all. It really, really is. So, please go and listen to that episode and tell me what you think about it. I was going to talk about the situation with Breonna Taylor. And right now, in the spirit of what we're talking about, I don't feel that will be appropriate. So I'm going to hold that for another live at another time. Because I feel like there's some more stuff that I need to talk about and go into. So we won't talk about that right now. Okay? So, I love you. Thank you so much for joining me. Make sure, before I let you go, Okay, seriously. Make sure that you get your ticket for Black Women Breathe. At least, if nothing else, share it on your timeline because you probably know some black women that need to breathe. I created that ceremonial series to take place every full moon and new moon until the end of the year. And I did it with the intention of black women coming together and we take a collective breath. Because with everything that's going on in the world right now, with all this political crap, with the struggles that we're dealing with just everything that we've been enduring for not just this year but hundreds of years, we need to come together and take a collective breath. So there's going to be some meditation, some breath work, some group Reiki, group oracle card readings. Um, this is this is for you, and it's also to give you a taste of what it's going to be like when I launch my membership site. And on the membership site, just for being a I don't want to say basic, but that's the only word I can think of right now. But the baseline, the basic, will already get you in the door for moon circles as well as master classes. So you'll have that every month. So this is why I have that, and that is why it is important to me for this to happen because black women, we need this. We need it. We need it. We need it. Okay. All right. So that's all I have. Thank you all so much. I love, 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 love you to Della Reese's Pieces. Don't you ever forget that. I will talk to you all again real soon. Bye.